Enough of the chit-chat, let's get straight into it. These are the top 10 animal killers of human beings, by deaths per year, but sitting in 11th place is an unlikely killer of our species, the hippopotamus. It is unusual to see an animal, that is predominantly a herbivore, ranking so high on a list of killers. They aren't hunting humans for their next meal, so what is making these animals so deadly? In short, hippos are extremely aggressive. Surviving in Africa, amongst some of the most deadly animals on the planet, is exceptionally tough. Hippos have evolved to be so aggressive that most predators won't even attempt to tackle them. But is aggressiveness everything? No, hippos back this up with a ferocious weapon, an enormously powerful jaw, believed to be the 4th strongest bite strength of all land animals. This jaw also opens large enough to fit the entire body of many animals. Hippos are fiercely territorial, and approaching one is very likely to lead to combat. Here we will battle a relatively small hippo of 1,000 pounds against a 170-pound male human. First, a head-to-head battle in the savannah to see what damage a human being can do with some martial arts experience. Then we will explore what makes the fragile and fairly weak human being creature the most dominant creature on the planet. Here the human can have first strike advantage. Approaching the sleeping hippo, the human can choose when and how to attack. With not many natural adaptations for fighting, the human may choose a strike that is mostly banned from human combat sports to maximize the effect. An eye gouge, a bite, or a strike to the back of the head and neck may be considered as the most permanently damaging attack type. In this fight to the death, the human will plan to start with a hard strike to the back of the hippo's head and neck. How should the human deliver this strike? An elbow or knee strike to this area is likely the human's best chance at delivering a maximum force impact. The human, using their advanced ability to think and plan, accelerates to a speed of 20 miles per hour towards the sleeping hippo. On reaching the animal, the human jumps a meter into the air and aims to land with his knee on the back of the hippo's head. With skin that is 2.5 inches thick, the hippopotamus absorbs the impact from the human being and awakens from slumber. The human punches, kicks and scratches at the hippo in a frenzied but relatively weak assault on its enormous mass. Delivering almost zero damage to the hippo, the human becomes emotional at the impending doom. The triggered hippo now delivers devastating strikes to the human, ending the fight in approximately 15 seconds. What now happens if the human has access to all abilities on the mankind research tree? The human now can make full utilization of 5 important species traits: group social nature, agriculture, written and spoken language, curiosity and intelligence, dexterity. Living in social group structures now at a global level allows humans to share thoughts, discoveries and inventions. From the use of spoken language, agriculture frees mankind from the need to perpetually search for food. Utilization of dexterity and written language allows humans to record details of discoveries that can be read and replicated by other members of the species. These records also outlive the individual creating them, allowing ideas and discoveries to persist and a ratcheting upwards of capability through generations. Our human here now has access to mankind's library of technological inventions, communication methods, global economy and manufactured products. From thousands of years of invention, adaptation and improvement, the human has an entire civilization history of product to choose from and attack the hippo with. Suddenly, despite an enormous physical disadvantage, the human has an overwhelming capability at not only beating this single hippo in a fight, but an ability to make the entire species extinct. Utilizing of rifles, machine guns, armored land war vehicles, sea-launched ballistic missiles, or even calling in an airstrike from an F-35 military jet, the human being can now destroy the hippopotamus at his whim. Even though our human being is not particularly of high intellect, he doesn't need to be, as it just takes a single member of his species to make a discovery or invention that then ratchets up the knowledge and technology level of the entire species. This is the power of humanity. But wait, the human is no longer acting alone here. This is true. Humans working together provide an enormous advantage. If we restrict our human to working alone, but allow for the ability to craft weaponry, He also needs time to select materials and create his fighting tool. If this time was permitted, the human entering this fight with a handcrafted club or spear now has a greater capability. Keeping in mind, the human would not be permitted access to string or knives for making the weapon. The outcome of 3 scenarios are: 1. Once the human has access to the advantages that his body and species type has, including use of weaponry or machines of war that may have been produced by the cooperation of thousands of individuals, the human wins 100 times in 100 fights. 2. Without this human technology access, the hippo wins 100 times in 100 fights. 3. If the human acts alone, but is permitted reasonable time to assemble weaponry, the hippo still wins 95 times in 100 fights against a single human being. Join us next time on Savage Showdowns.